I'm Doth Savick, and this is the Innova Super HeroPack II. This bag retails for $150, and it comes in with a weight of 2.5 kilos. That makes it one of the heavier bags that I've ever reviewed. Out of the 20 plus bags that I've personally taken data on, this is the fourth heaviest. It's definitely a dense bag. A lot of that has to do with just the material that they've used for it. It certainly does seem like it'll be a durable bag, so it should last a long time. The first thing that I noticed when I put this bag on is that it felt really weird on my back, and that took me a while to figure out why it was the case. It does have very comfortable straps. These are some of the thicker padding on any strap that I've measured. They're 20 millimeters of padding. On the high end, we've got the Gorilla Boy Simian at 28 millimeters. Of course, on the Simian, it's softer padding, and that kind of takes away from the thickness. You know, when we have a padding that's more dense and already compressed, then the remaining thickness is more impressive because it'll stay like that longer. The Simian is like super puffy, so it'll crush down over time. Not really a fair comparison, but being that this is a dense foam or compressed, one of the two, I'm not sure, it is comparable with the thickness of foam that you get on a pound bag. So that really is good. Another thing that they've done on the backpack straps is limited the number of sew-through points on like that webbing through the middle of the pack. On grip bags, for example, there's a whole bunch of those, and every time that you get a spot sewn like that, it compresses the strap and it kind of negates any padding that was there. And they've not done any through the top portion of the pad. So depending on how you wear that, you may be able to avoid having a sew point like that on right on your shoulder. Another thing that they did with these pads is they've got these load lifting straps or whatever, and that lets you pull the straps up if you want. That actually doesn't do anything at all for me on this bag. Really, what's trying to be achieved when a bag puts straps like this on is to pull the weight that is up high closer to your back. And with the overall construction of this bag, it's just not something that really helps. Back to the weird fit on this, one of the things that's odd about it is that the straps are sewn a little bit lower coming onto the back. That combined with how short the straps are, even if you extend them out all the way, it is overall like a very short length of fabric that you have. The other thing that's weird is that the vertical on the bag is really short, so like a torso measurement. It is the shortest bag I think that I've ever put on, and that is made even worse by the fact that the backpack straps are sewn low and that the super fat padding on the back, which is like great, it is way thick. You get like a couple inches of padding back there, close to that. I didn't measure it, but it is super thick. But that sits up a little bit from the bottom of the bag, so when the bag's on your back, like the first connecting point is here, not all the way down, which is the case on many other bags, especially the ones that have less padding on them. So it makes for a very short surface area that it can contact your back, combined with very short straps, and it just feels super weird on the back. Like, I was really frustrated that it was designed that way. I've not seen any other bag that was close to that, and I've taken some pictures about it that I can show you. Let me switch over and get my other monitor going. Okay, so here's some pictures I took to show what I'm talking about. And I just picked a bag to compare against. This is the Prodigy BP1 version 2, which you can also see behind me, and then I've got the version 3 sitting up there that just came in. I'm not in this video going to do comparison like positive negatives between the Prodigy and the Innova bag, but that will be coming. The Prodigy bag will be coming. I'll compare the two Prodigy bags together. In this top picture here, you can see that I just put some red lines to show where the backpack straps connect. That gives you an idea how much shorter the Innova bag is, and then how much lower those straps connect. Now if we come down a little bit, I took the straps on both bags and clapped them to the max, collapsed them, so that it would be in the shortest, and this shows that the Innova bag would sit way higher on your back when you have it pulled all the way closed. And then the next one down shows the straps extended to their maximum. So you can see that the straps are way longer on the Prodigy, and then what that starts to look like on your back. This is with both of the two bags with the straps pulled to the point, which way did I do this? Pulled to the point that the upper portion of the bag starts to contact my back. And this is a little bit of a weird thing. Like, we're talking about like proper fit on a backpack, and that word doesn't really belong in the discussion of a disc golf bag, because disc golf bags in general don't have waist straps, with the exception of very few. There's a Upper Park Shift has one, and then there's a little lightweight bag by Infinite that also has backpack straps or waist straps. But anyways, I'll just refrain from using the word like proper fit or anything like that, and just talk about what actually makes the bag comfortable for me. When I've got a disc golf bag, I want it to hit right down here, just above my butt. That is the contact point where I want most weight, so that it is transferred to my hips better than being on my shoulders, right? And I think that you'll see that a lot of people wear a bag right about like that. Now with the Prodigy bag, I can get the weight there and pull the straps enough that the top of the bag also contacts my back. So I have like, good surface area contact with the bag, and as much weight transferred as possible down to my hips. Now when I pull the end of a bag so that the top padding hits my back, the contact point, because that padding is higher than the bottom of the bag, it's up by this red line. So it's way higher on my bag. That's super uncomfortable to me. It just doesn't feel right. Now, if I do extend the straps out as far as they will go on the end of a bag, it's getting close to where I want that contact point to be. It should be here, like this picture, but it still contacts me high. So I'm still not getting weight down to my hips as I want, and the padding is completely off of my back. So it feels even worse. Like this is closer to how I want to wear this bag, but it's still not ideal. And just to show the greater range of the straps on the Prodigy, I extended it all the way, and it's sitting super low, way lower than I'd want to carry that bag. So it's really hard for me to get that bag, this bag, the Innova bag, comfortable on my back. It bothered me the most when I first put the bag on, and then as I started wearing it through some rounds, it bugged me a little bit less, but I still think it's super weird. It's okay that they've designed a bag that's shorter and doesn't have great range for the straps. I mean, I'm 6 feet tall, and there's people of different builds out there that maybe have issues finding a bag that's comfortable, and maybe this one is trying to fill that gap. The problem I have with that is you're talking about somebody with like a much shorter torso length, and so they're probably a smaller person, right? And if you have a smaller frame, you wouldn't want to carry a whole bunch of weight, and this is a heavy bag, and it's designed to carry a ton of stuff. So that's a weird combo there. The other thing that feels really weird about the fit of this bag is how wide it is. The side pockets expand, and I'll get into that when I start digging my hands into the bag. I'll show you that. I've got this one extended. When you extend both of them and have water bottles in there, it's crazy wide. Like, I'm again comparing it with the Prodigy BP1, and the BP1 is a huge bag. It's got expandable side pockets and double drink holders. Like this is, I'm not comparing the HeroPack to a small bag here. I'm comparing it to a big bag, and the HeroPack still hangs way, way wide. It is a bag that you're gonna like literally hit on stuff as you're walking through. If you're in dense trees and whatnot, you can see how far those water bottle pockets poke out past my sides compared with the Prodigy. And again, the Prodigy is a big bag. Like this is a huge profile already, and these hang out so much further. Another little thing there is that because the straps are smaller, you don't have as much room to like hook your shoulders through them. So you're gonna be bumping your elbows on those water bottles. Like annoyingly, I bang my elbows on whatever I have inside the pockets, even if or inside the water bottle holder, even if your pockets aren't extended all the way. So I don't know. I really don't love the fit of this bag. It bugged me a lot after the first round. I did not want to carry it again. Like I was not psyched about it, especially comparing it with some of the more comfortable bags that I have. After I wore it a little bit more, some of that kind of wore away. So I don't want to treat it like it's just some insanely uncomfortable bag that's not going to work for anybody. It may be comfortable with someone, but it's not for me. This isn't going to earn a spot. I can tell you that right now. Now, digging into more details of the bag, it does not ship with a rainfly. On some of Innova's literature, it says that a rainfly is available. However, searching the internet, I've not found one. So I don't know what they mean. Like, is it maybe even the older pack has a rainfly available and I'm just supposed to buy that to fit this one? Or I don't know. Unclear, and I haven't been able to find a rainfly for that. Maybe somebody knows the answer and can post it in the comments. As tested, I've got no rainfly for it. The first thing that I did when this bag came in and I started loading it up was that I removed the divider that it came with. It's a heavy divider. This thing weighs 384 grams. That's two heavy discs that this weighs. I've never been a fan of dividers. I'm not sure that there's any bag that they really improve. Like if you had a weak bottom on your bag, maybe, then you might want to put a divider system in like this. It's got Velcro in there so you can adjust it a little bit. If you only were trying to carry a limited number of discs, hey, maybe that'll work, and then you've got storage on the other side, something like that. But you're going to make the bag lighter immediately if you just pull that thing out, and that's usually what I do. That's what I've done on this case. Starting at the top of the bag, there's 2 pockets on top, both of them with water resistant or waterproof zippers. I forget the terminology exactly that they use. They definitely are a rubberized coating on there, and it is the type where the seal's really close. So great, without a rainfly on there, if you zip close, you're probably not getting water through. I don't like the wide divider that they have here. You can see I've got 3 putters jammed in there, and that's starting to warp this centerpiece. And like I've actually done that on purpose. I had a whole bunch more discs in here earlier to try to get it to open up some. I find it really difficult to pull your putters in and out, especially if you have stuff in this pocket. The zippers bite on the sides. There's not enough room given on that zipper to like grab 2 or 3 discs and slide them in and out easier. Until you start to get this piece to warp, and then that helps. But it's just a bit of a funky design. It's almost like one putter is better up there than having 2 or 3 if you really want to pull them in and out easily. The front pocket is just deep enough that like my phone would still pop out of it. Of course, it's super wide, so you could fit quite a bit of stuff in there, wallet, keys, if you wanted to go with that much. That space is going to start colliding with the putters under there. You can also use it to just put a disc or 2 in. The last round that I had this out, I started having discs stuck here, and I was also jamming discs here. I think I had 2 in each of those, and part of that was because it was way more convenient to leave discs in those locations than to get them all into this putter pocket back here. Just because you can see it just warps and the zippers are covering discs. It's not the easiest access up on top. The main flap does have Velcro back there that you can hear, so I've had no issues with that coming out. It definitely sticks in place. In the main disc compartment, there is a hard bottom, which is a little funky. I don't know how well this will show up. You can see, let's see if I can get my finger in there and show you. This hard panel on the bottom, I've got my fingers under the edge of it, which means there's a gap between that padding and the side wall of the bag. And that exists on both sides. And the edges of discs want to pan out and stick down in there. So I'm often finding that I'm fighting the discs as they come in and out of the bag. They start to slide over on those sides and bind at a little bit of a weird angle. It's not the end of the world, but I found that I had to keep like pulling groups of discs out and kicking them back into orientation because the one on the outside has slid over. The front piece here has plenty of room for a few discs. Oh, I forgot I put my birdie bag in there. But if you do stack discs in there, they're going to get in the way of this, pulling discs in and out of the main compartment easily. You can see that I've also got my Sharpie over here. We've got 2 pencil pocket spots right here, which is great. Those are super easily accessible. I probably would be putting a scorecard either poking out here or scorecard in this slot. So you should have quick, easy access to both pencils and your scorecard when it comes to it. Finding a spot to put, a pen or a Sharpie or something like that is a little bit harder on this bag. These are too short, like that's probably going to fall out. And then the other options you have are actually too long, so it pokes down below there. So you're risking having it come free from the cap and then, get loose and mark some stuff. The other options you have for placement are these 2 pouches on the side. This one is taller and the one on the other side is shorter. Again, this is too tall to like perfectly dock a Sharpie in there, but it actually works really nicely for my phone. That's where I have been carrying my phone instead of putting it up on top, just so my screen doesn't scrape against whatever other stuff I've got in there. Contrast that with the pocket that they have on the other side, which you can see is quite a bit shorter and makes it perfect for a mini marker, but a little bit weird size again to try to put the Sharpie in there. It's not quite deep enough to get the Sharpie to clip. So you're left with like a little bit of a weird, where are you going to carry your Sharpies? There is another internal option. One of the side pockets, I forget which side, we'll dig into it, has a low pocket that you could also use to put Sharpies, but I don't like having them possibly under other things. They've given a Velcro strap on the side with the buckle, so it's detachable. This would be home for potentially your stool or an umbrella. For the bottom of the stool, you would either be going into your cup holder and then strapping it, which is going to kind of crush this pocket and limit you a little bit on what stuff you have in there. Or you can open the pocket and use that for, where the base of the umbrella or your stool goes. The side pockets have double zippers for the opening, which is great. I wish this was done more often. It gives you so much control over how far you want to have that bag open. If you want to have a towel poking out the top, that's just perfect. You can kind of leave your easily accessible towel without having to have it all the way unzipped. If you do pull this zipper all the way down, it gets stuck right behind that pencil, so it actually can be like a little bit weird to grab that zipper and pull it back up. Very minor thing, but it would tend to make me want to actually just carry pencils in the one instead of the other, so that zipper is easier to grab. If you were to pull them all over here, you have to pay attention what zipper you're going to grab to open it, because if you grab this one, it's not going to pull up. That's the one to expand the whole pocket, so it can leave you fumbling for zippers just a little bit. It might make sense to like always pull them double up to the top or pull them all the way to the back of the bag, just so you're not grabbing the wrong zipper all the time. These side pockets are huge. I just started jamming stuff in here to kind of show you. If there's 3 towels I just pulled out and I still had room for more, there is a pocket on this side that I'd mentioned. You can see it. It's the yellow fabric in there, and I'll again use my phone to show its depth. You can see it's about half depth on my phone. And we can go Sharpie down there. It's just short enough that the keeper on the Sharpie doesn't clip over the fabric, so again it's kind of the same problem. Not the perfect spot for a Sharpie. With that pocket in its collapsed state, it is just about right for 2 drivers. If you want to carry discs in there, you can see that it is biting a little bit on the sides. That didn't want to go just all the way in without having to force it a little bit. So it is slightly tight. It definitely gets tighter if I try to fit more in it than that. So probably if I was going to carry discs over there, 2 drivers would be what would fit. Larger diameter mids or even tighter, it doesn't make sense to try to put mids in there. To expand that pocket, we grab that one zipper that I mentioned earlier, and it comes all the way down around the bottom. Not the smoothest zipper, and then you can see we get an inch and a half of expansion. Part of the issue with why that zipper is so tough in that zone is that it's overlapping. So when I zip that all the way around, I'm trying to close this zipper on top of the inner zip point. So there's just a lot of fabric and zipper and stuff in there to kind of bind. It's not something that you're going to do very often. You probably do it before the round, and you're going to leave it like that for the full round. Now with it zipped out, I can easily get another 2 drivers in there. So if you're looking for max capacity, you definitely can fit discs here. The pocket is wide enough that will work. If you are using it for other stuff, man, this bag can carry so much if you really pack it out. Like here, I'll put a whole Nalgene in there. That's no problem. I've got a mid-size, maybe on the large size hoodie. That's in there as well, and I've still got room for more. That fit no problem. There's another towel in there on top. I've not done a can test on this 12 ounces to see how many will fit, but I can tell you it's a lot. This certainly is a bag to consider if you really want to carry a ton of stuff. The drink holder is of course mounted on the outside of that pocket, so if your pocket is not firmly full, then you put weight in that cup holder, it's gonna bend out. You're gonna get sag on there because of the amount of movement that you've got. So you'd either zip that pocket closed if you don't have it full, or deal with it. If it's gonna sag, it just is what it is. The bottom of the cup holders do each have a drain port, a little grommet in there, and we've got 2 hard rails on the bottom of the bag. Other details are the D-rings. It's got one on each corner. You've got a couple points you can hang stuff from if you want. The fabric on the bag I think is super durable, and I mentioned that earlier. That does like heavily contribute to the weight of the bag. Also, stitching looks good. I've not found a single stitch on the bag that I was worried about. Durability, I think that it is likely to last you a long time. My nitpicks on it are not many, I guess, but they really bug me. Like in particular, the having to negotiate the kind of weird opening on the putter pocket on top, and then the comfort of the bag. Like between those two, it's just really hard for me to recommend this bag. I just really think it's weird how heavy it is, how wide it is, and then how short of a torso it seems to be designed for. I've never seen anything else like that. So I'm having trouble thinking what scenario I would recommend this bag to someone. At $150, there are a lot of other bags to choose. I think hands down I would recommend the Prodigy bag that I showed next to it. That's the BP1 V2. I've not really dug into the V3 that you see up there. I just unboxed it. I haven't even put discs in it yet, so I can't specifically comment on that one. The version 2 is going away soon, but it's less than this bag, the Innova. It's lighter than this, it's more comfortable, and it could carry just as much stuff. Like, I'm pretty confident in saying that. I haven't, maxed one and then seen if I can jam all the same stuff into the other, but they've got to be close. I don't know. This is a weird bag. It's a weird design, and I don't love it, but maybe you will. I appreciate you watching. I know it's been a long time since I've posted any videos, like 8 months or something. You can see I'm in a new spot now. I've got a lot more room, a lot more light, and I've got bags stacking up to review. So I'm hoping to really get back into the swing of the things. And I've also just turned ads on these videos, so let me know how you feel about that, if that bugs you or not. I don't know if YouTube plays ads anyways, even if I haven't turned them on in some cases, but yeah, I've gone ahead and done that. So if you got any questions, leave them in the comments. Recommendations for other bags, I'm always checking those comments, even when the video is older, so feel free to ask anything. Thanks.